Greetings YouTube. Today I'm going to review the Spyderco Kiwi. Here we go. Product code C75P3. Comes in this pleasant little box. Comes in foam set in. Take it like this. Now this right here is a real life pocket knife. No clip. It cannot be opened with one hand, even though it has the classic Spyderco hole. You're never, ever getting that open. I don't care how good you are. It's not going to happen. It has a really nice retention. Really good retention in there. And that's because it has a really good, strong spring in here. Now, before I open it up, this has a really nice fit and finish. It has a small lanyard hole. That's a little bit smaller than I imagine than 550 paracord. Though you may be able to get a piece of paracord through there that's had the innards removed, so it's just the outer shell. So that might work through there. And I can see some people might want to have that there for removing it out of a pocket a little more easily. Some people just happen to like lanyards. There's the classic Spyderco spider, though, as my friend Skall comments, it looks set up like a tick. And it's not an overly expensive. I think it's like in the $25 range. And I like to thank my friend Skall, in fact, because this was a gift from he and his fiancee Cara, which was very nice of them. And the fit and finish is really very nice. This whole area back here, this whole spring area, it's almost perfectly seamless. I mean, you can see it, particularly when you open it because it moves, but it's really nice. And the satin finish in here, it's a pleasure to hold. And it really does fit into the bottom of the pocket very comfortably. It's a good length, it's a good weight. Though because it's all metal, it has a nice feel to it. You know, there's a certain level of solidity to it that feels good in your palm. And I was personally intrigued by this myself in the past when I'd actually seen one in a store, but at the time I really wasn't looking at it as a pocket knife. I had been looking for a new EDC, and an EDC for me is something that has a clip. Though I suppose if you had you could have a pouch made for this and wear it on your belt. There are people who like to carry blades like that as well. And I think this would lend itself quite nicely to that, particularly if you had it set up like this with a small lanyard here for pulling it out. That would work really nicely. And there are people out there that make some really nice sheaths, both in leather and in kydex. So this is this kind of thing that you might want to look into if that's the way you like to carry a blade. But the reason I like this blade is that is a really nice worn cliff edge. But let me return to that sound you just heard. Okay, now listen again. That is an authoritative snap, a nice strong spring, something you want in a slip joint folder. And because this is a slip joint folder, and because it requires two hands, and has a short blade, it should be legal both in Germany and the UK. So that's a nice design as well. And you notice the sculpting here. These finger grooves are not perfectly symmetrical, and there's a reason for that. When you hold it in your hand, your finger is angled, and then it goes like this, and it just really fits into your hand beautifully. And because this whole thing in here is so slim, it just disappears in your palm. It just fits your hand so comfortably. And you suddenly have an extension of a sharp blade in your hand, and you're not really thinking about this handle at all. It's very comfortable. I really was very impressed. Hey, look we have a cat here who's come to join us and help us do a knife review. And the knife came out of the box razor sharp, as I can attest for the fact right here. I don't know if you can see that. I took a slice of my finger skin off of that. But it's very comfortable. And again, in this position, even if you were to push on it here for some strange reason with your finger in that spot, it's not going to close on you. So you're not going to have to worry about that. Though you could, if you wanted to, you could pull back like this. Say if you wanted to reach for something, you could. Again, if you get a bump on that, it would have to be a substantial bump. But at this position, it could close on you. And that would be dangerous because this thing came out of the box very sharp. And you can see it comes to a very nice point. Very good for doing daily tasks, opening boxes, cutting mail. You could use this for light food prep at a picnic or at lunch at work. And with this knife this small and this innocuous, no one's going to freak out if you take it out of your pocket and, you know, go to cut up a sausage or cut up an apple or something at break. That's not going to freak them out. I like the overall shape. I like the line here, the line that goes like this. I like the way that looks. I think it's really quite well done. And of course, you have the classic, the hole for the Spyderco, which is, you know, always the kind of their logo. So I think consider that more their logo than the little tick thing there is. It is a hollow grind with a secondary bevel, and as I mentioned, it came out of the box razor sharp. I was quite impressed by that. I'm very happy to have this, even though it's a China-made blade. The fit and finish on this are top notch. Now, the edges on the hole and the top of the blade are not as well rounded as this. They're not sharp, however. I would consider them more to be crisp. You definitely can feel that when you're opening it, your finger fits into that, and it feels good when you're pulling it out. It feels quite comfortable. And again, nice retention. That's not going to pop open in your pocket. And when you open it, nice authoritative click and good overall spring retention when it's in the open position. So I was very impressed by this. I really was. I'm really happy I have this in my collection. I mean, I've been looking at it at one point in the past, and I'm really glad my friends Skall Cara gave me one. It's a lovely knife, and if you know anybody that likes pocket knives and wants something that's a little out of the ordinary, but it still isn't going to freak anybody out when they take it out of their pocket, I think that you could do a whole lot worse than the Spyderco Kiwi.